Hello. Happy Wednesday afternoon in Costa Rica. Let's just take a moment to place our hands by the navel and fill the belly with breath. And exhale, no matter what you're doing, just take a moment. If you're just listening to this and not looking, take a moment to stop. Find the feet on the earth, the coccyx or the buttocks in the chair. And inhale, fill the belly with breath. 3, 2, 1. And exhaling the belly into the spine and the breath into the earth. 2 more times. Let's inhale red. Hand on the navel, another on the breast or the chest or the heart. Inhaling belly, ribs, and chest with breath. And hold it in. 3, 2, 1. Exhaling. 3, 2, 1. Can we keep the breath out a second? And inhaling. And exhaling. And hi. A little bit more present. Noticing any differences or similarities? Hi, I'm Barry from DEVAYA Yoga, the Yoga Color and Sound. And I'm here just to chat a little bit about the power of the breath and breathing colors. The breath is something we do always, and it's automatic. It's part of the autonomic nervous system. We don't think about it, we just breathe. But if we're looking to control our emotions, the only way to control our emotions is with the power of the breath. The breath, as previously stated, is automatic. It's unconscious. It's free. What if we take this free tool that's part of us and make it conscious? It becomes extremely powerful. It is an agent. For me, it is the key to life. It is the key to controlling our mind, all the thought forms. The mind is full of thoughts. If we're not having a thought, we'll probably get a universal thought. So let's just start with the breath. What is the breath? The breath, if we're breathing shallow in our chest, if we're breathing in our mouth, are we breathing in our nose? Does the breath originate in the belly or the chest? All this has a huge effect on the mind or the vritti or the movements of the mind. The breath sustains us and creates health and vitality, especially if we make it a conscious tool. The breath in many religions, the Hindu, the Polynesian, the Native American, the breath is a life force. It's the thread that connects everything. Connects me to you, connects me to even the computer, the plants, the food we eat. And for example, excuse me, for the Hindu, it's prana. The breath is prana. It's life force. It's carrying energy. For the Chinese, it's chi. For the Japanese, it's ki. And for the Polynesian, it's mana. It has a force all its own. So let's make this breath conscious. Let's just not let it float around. Let's make it a tool. It's part of our experience here as earthlings or light beings having an earth experience. So the breath is the key or the doorway to controlling our emotions. It's just as essential, it's in the air we breathe, the prana, life force. It's in the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink. So the more I can nourish myself with the breath and just instead of taking it for granted, is a more fulfilled life I'll have with greater vitality. Yoga is the science of self-actualization or self-realization, and it's with the breath. The breath is linked into everything. The breath connects the body with the physical body with the mind. We get the mind to think about the breath. So let's just take a moment again, and we can shut our eyes to close out the environment around us and noticing, where am I breathing? Am I breathing in my belly? When I take a breath, do I breathe in my mouth or my nose? Where does the breath originate? How are you breathing right now? Where does your breath originate? And breathing consciously affects our well-being on the physical, mental, and emotional planes or states of being. Breathing clearly, let's just put a hand on the belly and on the heart and fill the belly. We want this belly to fill first. The ribs and the chest with breath. We can close our eyes, keep the breath long, and hold it in. 3, 2, 1. Exhaling the head between the shoulders and the breath into the earth. One more time. Inhaling, just breathing. And with this breath, let's take our hands away and bring the shoulders up around the ear, the chin towards the earth, and then exhale and release. And inhaling and noticing any differences or similarities. Do I have a little bit more mental clarity? Am I more awake or more aware of my anemic state, how I'm feeling physically, mentally, and emotionally? Breathing consciously creates mental clarity. It creates greater concentration and memory. It's like we just retrieve information from the Akashic records or from the library of life now, when we're truly connected with the breath. And the breath also lowers cortisol levels, now pain levels, that emotional pain, physical pain. So the breath is the gateway to life. It also reveals, where am I now, my emotional state. Am I breathing shallow? Am I afraid? Can I deepen the breath and breathe in my belly and hold it in and create greater self-confidence and presence? To the breath and all, these philosophies, religions, the Chinese, the Polynesian, the Hindu, the breath is cultivated to create well-being, mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Learning how to breathe correctly, we can eliminate, if not alleviate, symptoms of fatigue, mental distress, physical illnesses, and it lowers our cortisol levels, as I mentioned earlier. It takes away levels of pain. The prana is filling our body. According to the Hindu philosophy, the world of yoga, that we have a circulatory system where all the blood flows. For the Hindu, there is the circulatory system, an energetic one, sits right on the causal body, right on top of the physical body, and has 72,000 points. So every time we inhale, all those little 72,000 points of entering from the energetic world into the physical world of the body is being activated by the breath. So we want to energize that breath. We want to fill the breath from deep within the belly. That's what creates lasting change. And when we link breath with movement and sound and color, DEVAYA yoga, but when we bring breath with movement, it's much easier for neuro-linguistic programming to change the programming. So how do we cultivate prana? Well, we cultivate it with the air we breathe. Where do I live? Do I live in the city, in the country, the beach? By the food I eat. What kind of food am I eating? Am I eating chocolate bars or am I eating salads? Is my salad organic? If we can eat organic, no. What kind of energy do I put into the food I'm eating? Into the air I'm breathing? Conscious awareness. Sunlight. A little bit of sunlight is delicious. It's full of prana, it's full of life force energy and vitamin D for the body. Maybe not at noontime. We don't need more than 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes. But the sun is part of our life force energy. It's the vitality. It's the center of our belly. And water. That's our basic of life, And again, how we breathe influences the prana or the life force energy. Life force energy is in the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink. And how we breathe affects everything. So I'm going to bring over Ben here for a second. There we go. Just only need to see his diaphragm. So when we breathe, to breathe correctly, the breath begins here and in the nostrils. Why we breathe in the nostrils? It filters the air. So if we breathe in our mouth, we can get a bunch of bugs also down into our lungs or smoke or smog. But the hairs in our nose are actually filtering the air and warming the air before it comes into the body. In Fahrenheit, the body's 98 points, more or less, most people, 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The body's warm. So we're warming the breath with the hair nostrils before it comes into the body, and we're cleaning it. And the breath begins in the belly. And when we activate the Kegel, or in Hindu and yoga philosophy, the Mula Bandha, or actually the muscle we use in lovemaking, when we activate that muscle down here by the perineum, we no longer have any energy leakage out of the spinal column. It's sealed. And as we seal that, we're activating the muscle called the diaphragm. And the diaphragm is the main muscle of breathing. So when I'm inhaling, the diaphragm actually is going to contract. It's going to go up because my lungs are filling. Why do we want to breathe in the belly? Because the lungs go all the way to this floating rib. It starts, the lower lung is here, and the upper lung is up on the collarbone, or the chest bone. So we want to fill the belly, the ribs, and the chest with breath. As the lungs fill up, the diaphragm contracts and goes up. As the lungs empty, the diaphragm comes down. It's just like day and night. Inhale, life. Exhale, night. We're getting rid of toxins, toxic thought forms, carbon dioxide. So the purer the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink. Water, 75 to 80% of the body's water. Are you drinking water? So let's tune into that as well. So that's the anatomy of breathing now. And as we activate the Kegel or Mula Bandha or the muscle we use in lovemaking, we're activating the muscle of the diaphragm, which activates the lungs to expand from the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And then if we can hold it in, that will stop the mind from thinking. And if we count backwards, it's another way to control the mind now. And exhaling and exhaling and exhaling. 3, 2, 1. And hold the breath out a little bit. But what happens when we add a color to the breath? Why would we want to add a color to the breath? When we add a color to the breath, it activates different parts of the brain. Just like when we breathe fully with our nose, belly, ribs, and chest with breath and hold it in, we're activating the rest and restore part of our nervous system, or the parasympathetic nervous system. And when we add a color, it makes the ether of the breath more dynamic, more matter-like. And so as we add a color to the breath, it makes it more full. And if we breathe in the belly, the ribs, and the chest with breath and add the color activates parts of the brain, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and restore. And each color of the rainbow activates a different humor or tonality of the body-mind connection. When we breathe with colors, one of the benefits, or some of the benefits, is increased concentration, better memory, greater calm. And we don't need to see the color. We can feel it. If we don't see it, we can feel it. Maybe even the color has a smell for you. But color makes the ether or the breath, the prana, the life force more dense, more full. And let's just take a moment to inhale and fill the belly with breath and imagine breathing red. Belly, ribs, and chest, bringing all that red up in the body, courage, self-esteem, presence. And exhaling red, pulling the belly into the spine and exhaling the red back into the earth. One more time, inhaling red. Can we hold that breath in? 3, 2, 1. Head between the shoulders. Exhaling 3, 2, 1. When we breathe the color, how am I feeling now? Is it the same or different? The area associated with the brain will be activated, as well as memory and body awareness. We're having rain. This energizes or engages the parasympathetic nervous system, or the rest and restore part of the body. So just breathing a red color is going to ground me, going to bring me into a more present state. Breathing in my belly will bring me into a more present state. So if I join the two, it's more emphatic, present, safe state, or state of wellness or well-being. It focuses our intention, and I find it to be quite positive and soothing. Colored breathing unlocks mental clarity and focus, and this is scientifically proven. When we imagine a color, the brain lights up. Areas connected to emotion, memory, and body awareness are activating, which activates the parasympathetic nervous system, or the rest and restore part of the body. If we breathe red, it's a grounding, strengthening, and warming, energizing color. When we breathe orange, it creates creativity, joy, emotional release. When we breathe in the golden sun, or yellow, it creates optimism, confidence, clarity, and focus. When we breathe emerald green in the heart space, or emerald green in general, it's balancing, soothing, and harmonizing. It's connecting. It's connecting. Sky blue is so calming and releases tension and promotes relaxation. Indigo, or dark blue, or midnight blue, helps us with insight and intuition and deep peace, maybe even a good night's sleep. And purple, or violet, uplifts our spirits and creates a higher awareness. So to recount, the breath in itself is filled with life force, filled with energy. Breathing in the belly and in the nose, holding the breath in, belly, ribs, and chest, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and restore. Add a color to it, lots more energy happening here. And I guarantee you, with breathing, anxiety levels will be reduced, sleeping will be improved, burnout might even be removed, insomnia might be eliminated, anxiety may be eliminated, resentment could be eliminated, because we're checking in, we're being aware of the inner dialogue. I'm going to go because it's raining, and I completely invite you to DM me peace, and we can have a private free consultation. We can learn how to breathe. Any questions you have, please be in touch. From January 20th to 25th, we're going to have a 5-day challenge, yoga challenge, with movement and breath work and color and sound. And in May 3rd through 10th, we have Ageless and Radiant and Ageless, the Women's Retreat, July 19th through the 26th is Yoga and Digestion. These are also open to any beginner as well as a practitioner who wants some extra credit units. There were 10 extra credit units for Yoga Alliance. And then we have a teacher training, an integral yoga teacher training, September 1st to the 26th, 2025. I thank you so much for joining me. You have a wonderful afternoon. And let's breathe 2025 into wholeness. Blessings be.